What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. As ever, my name is Paul, and this is the Leeds Therapy. And therapy, I think, is what we are all going to need by the end of this season. Let me tell you. Jesus H. Criminy. I don't think I can do this for however many weeks we've got left. Genuinely, I don't think I can do this. Wow. Where do you start with that? I mean, it's Leicester all over again, let's be honest. Where we I genuinely don't know what to say. I genuinely don't know how to react, how to feel. We're still second, that's the main thing. Hull, by a country mile, are the best footballing team I've seen at Ellen Road. Full stop. Forget anybody else that's in there. And I don't mean in terms of scoring goals. I just mean in terms of overall footballing prowess. Their ability to pass the ball around and to really kind of stifle us in midfield was very noticeable. And I think you have to give credit where it's due. Brilliant. I'm genuinely sat here in shock because at halftime I didn't see that happening. I was getting that frustrated in the second half that I just wanted to turn it off and not watch any more of it. I was just getting so frustrated, and I try to ever be the optimist, and I can't help but think to myself that, well, is this the game where it just shows that we're just going to be in the playoffs and we've just handed it over to Leicester and Ipswich? I could feel that coming in. I was getting stressed at the players. Everything. I thought Hull deserved their equaliser. I thought Hull played really, really well. Bamford should have scored. I'm not going to dig him out and say nasty stuff about him, but Bamford should have scored. He should have put that away. The only thing I can think is that he was put off by the defender, but then again, as a number 9, you should be anticipating that the defender is going to miss it and put it in, and looking at it the way he plays the shot, he literally just needed to poke his foot out to it and it goes in. He didn't even need to go with his left foot. He could have just gone with his right. So Bamford should have scored, and it should have been 2-0 before they got their equaliser. I thought it was very, very evident, and it has been for the past 2 games, that Gruev is not playing and that Gruev isn't in the side. It's always the player that goes about his business quietly, efficiently, and brilliantly, almost unnoticed, that when he's not in the team, you notice that he's not in the team. I thought Rutter played well for sort of the first 15 minutes when he was showing for the ball, but then it was almost like he'd stopped showing for the ball as much, and it caused problems. As soon as he showed for the ball and got the ball and ran at them, we scored. And while he was doing that, he was causing Hull problems. But the other issue that we had, and for me, Kamara, that's his worst game by far, and I don't think Gray had a particularly good game either. But the issue with Gray and Kamara is that they kept occupying the same space in the first half, and they were doing it again in the second half as well. And what it meant is because Hull were playing with this false 9, so they weren't really playing with an out-and-out striker, and they were interchanging, it was really causing us issues because there was spaces on certain aspects of the park because Kamara and Gray kept occupying sort of or they were always very, very close to each other. It sorted itself out a little bit more sort of second half-ish. It got a little bit better. I was getting frustrated because I thought Farke made the changes way too late again. It's my one annoyance with him is that he makes changes really, really late. I have to say, as soon as Joseph came on, he looked lively, he looked bright, he was unlucky with his shot. And it was funny because Joseph's kind of ratting around, for want of a better phrase, and just putting himself about a little bit, getting a couple of fouls called against him. It was just starting to raise the crowd up a little bit, I thought. I thought the crowd was very, very flat today, which is understandable to a certain degree because of how poor we were playing. But then Somerville, just being typical Somerville, comes... I mean, it was a stupid challenge for the Hull defender to make. Why? You know what Somerville's going to do. As soon as you do that, you're risking it, absolutely risking it to be put inside. To be fair, Hull should have been 2-1 up with the shot. I forget the guy who took the shot, the left-footed shot from the right-hand side. The one that just, rather than curving, it just went straight. So we were lucky at that aspect. But that penalty, and then you think, I had to leave the room. I felt physically sick. I had to leave the room. Then Piru was stood over the ball, and then Somerville comes over. There's an argument, and Somerville's going to take it. I'm going to take it. This is mine. I didn't see any of this. I only saw it when I came back in and the penalty had been scored. And fair play to Piru, backing off. Yeah, he might be annoyed at this situation, but for the greater good of the team, he backed off. And seeing Somerville put that down the... I mean, Somerville, Jesus, the cojones on him to do that, you know, that takes some doing. That takes some absolute doing. And fair play to him. Great goal to bring us back, to give us the lead again, which then meant that Hull had to change it slightly. And Dan James then coming on, and I say coming on's the wrong word, but Dan James, who hadn't been brilliant all night, racing out after Jesus, just defending, and just Ampadu and Rodon, please, excuse me, I've got a sore throat from screaming. Please don't ever split that pair up. Just ridiculously good. Firpo had a good game as well, defence-wise. Byron was okay as well, I thought. But the ball, Dan James running halfway line, and just absolutely lovely little chip dink. And I'm watching it, thinking, that's going to go in. That's really going to go in. Holy shit, he scored. That's unbelievable. And the thing that was really nice is that throughout the game, the Hull City fans were giving him crap. Obviously, you let your country down, etc., so on and so forth. So it was really nice to see Dan James score that goal. We are going to have to play significantly better than that if we want to maintain in the top two spaces. But what they do say is that it is the mark of a good team that, excuse me, that even when you're playing poorly, you can still come up with the win. Now, I watched the interview with James and Somerville at the end of the match. Obviously, the crowd's still there. It's all going mental. Dan James said quite an interesting thing about players returning from international duty. And let's be right, internationals have absolutely screwed us. Again, obviously, Nonto being out, Gruev being out, Roberts being out as well. But in the interview, Dan James said that some of us only got back on Wednesday night. So you've got players returning back on Wednesday night. So you can put Ampadu, you can put Dan James into that, Roberts, Firpo. So technically they've played that international Tuesday, get back Wednesday, and then they're playing a game again 2 days later, and then another 2 days later they're playing another game again. Is it any wonder that these players are shattered? Like, absolutely shattered. So I can understand a below-par performance, especially after hearing what Dan James has got to say, but we need to switch it on, and we need to switch it on quick. Again, Hull are very, very unlucky today. I thought they played brilliantly. The mistake that they made was not having a target man or a focal man. That false nine thing that they were playing was causing us all sorts of problems, but they didn't have anybody, bar the one time where Carvalho got in, and I think Carvalho was kept very, very quiet. I actually think I know Gray didn't have the best game, but I think Gray marshalled Carvalho very, very well. I think it was Gray that was marshalling him very, very well. And yeah, I feel physically sick. I feel drained. I'm sweating. I need to do something. I might need to go and walk the dog or something. God only knows. But that's... I don't know how we've come away with 3 points. I genuinely don't. But do you know what? Am I going to complain about it? Absolutely not, no. And I have to give the team credit because they dug in. Yes, they weren't playing well. Yes, they weren't doing what they needed to do. But they dug in and they got the result. That's all I care about. And I've said it before till I'm blue in the face. I don't care about the performance as much as long as we get the 3 points. And we got the 3 points. We still sit in second. And any, you know, Ipswich sat watching that or Leicester sat watching that will probably go, Jesus, how have they managed that with how poor that we've been playing? So I've just knocked the microphone. So yeah, that's going to be me for this one. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, subscribe to the channel. Like the video. I mean, you've got to like it for us winning anyways. And any comments that you want to make, feel free, leave them in the comment section down below. Genuinely, I don't know what to do with myself. I think I need an ECG and some sort of sports drink. We'll see you on the next one. Take it easy.